should never have to feel this way.
Hello? Talk to me. Where you at? I'm en route right now. Right now. It's an easy call. It's the answer call. Stop playing. Answer the call to your purpose.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of The Answered Call. Y'all are now tapped into getting to know us, the host. Look, I got my girl Zayangelita. Look, tapping in.
Okay.
And me rocking with Aaliyah. Now, y'all, my girl has tapped into her purpose. She's actually not from Houston, Texas. She's from Waco.
I love it.
Waco.
I love it.
And she's a long way from home. Not too long, but it's a little distance. How has that transition been for you? You don't have no family here. You've been out here hustling, grinding. A little backstory, because I've been tapped into Zay. You know what I'm saying? I've been seeing her grinding, which is the whole reason why I was so excited that we connected and we were able to actually tap into this project and present it to you guys. I think it's going to be dope, and I can't wait for y'all to see what we have in store.
And look, and so to answer your question, just backstory why I'm here, my purpose is be that light, be that encouragement, be that motivation. And when we don't have the blueprint, because I didn't have the blueprint for what I wanted to do in media, and it's to be a red carpet host, to be a journalist, to do the different things. It's easier seen on screen, but figuring out yourself, that's pretty hard. So me being out here in Houston, figuring out is literally a journey. It's literally me answering that call to my purpose day by day. And number one, trusting God to put me in position, which here we are, both of us together answering the call. Now, you say you study me. Now we get to study each other. And even though I'm not from the city, I'm planting my seeds. And that's what the answer call is all about. The answer call is here to be the blueprint, to answer the call to your purpose, to our guests that come here. Y'all gonna be here to see the truth of answering the call to your purpose, because it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be some times where it's uncomfortable, where it's not paid, where you don't have the resources. So my job,
hustle and grind to get to where you're going.
Right. And so I want to ask you, why is it important for you to stand out in the role that you're in? Because you've been doing your thing in media. You touching red carpets. You touching almost every artist. You done built the name for yourself with almost every media outlet there is. And I'm going to just go ahead and shout them out. You got 95.3 Jams, Hip Hop Streets, Aaliyah, Rocking with Aaliyah. Hey, if you ain't rocking, you need to start rocking today. But let the people know, Aaliyah, why are you here? What does this mean to you to answer the call?
So honestly, answering the call to my purpose was very hard for me. I didn't have no blueprint, like you just stated. At first, I was in hardcore news. You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
In the news, we at the debate.
Reported live.
These things, things that I knew didn't sound like me.
It didn't feel comfortable.
I went from there to sports broadcasting. Even that was cool. It was a little different. But then during the pandemic is when I really actually got to tap in to me wanting to be in the entertainment industry. I love music, you know what I'm saying? Not just as a listener, but somebody that can critique it and know that something sounds good or if it doesn't. Outside of that, I just felt like I was really more of a people person. I come off as real quiet, but I'm very observant. In the same sense, I actually study, you know what I'm saying? I think over the last 6 months, I've actually studied and honed this craft. The thing that really gave me the most motivation was me sitting down interviewing David Banner.
Yes.
We're having a conversation. It didn't even feel like no interview. I feel like I'm interviewing him, but I'm asking him questions that I wanted to know personally.
Yes.
Because I looked up to this man. My daddy tapped into him as an artist, you know what I'm saying? And he came from, the South. That's big for us because I'm from Oklahoma. We ain't really got too many people that's coming out of there that's doing anything. So for me to know who he is and to tap in with him and him to tell me oh, you doing your job. You walking in your purpose. You know what I'm saying? Just for him to have that conversation with me really motivated me. And I was like, man, this is David Banner. What? He just told me this, bro, you got to get your stuff together. So all in all, I think walking in my purpose has really been me being consistent. Even though I'm tired, pushing myself past the limits. You know what I'm saying? I'm being in 3 places at once. I'm working 2 jobs. I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a part of you got to be willing to be uncomfortable.
Yes.
You got to be willing to be tired. You have to be willing. There really ain't no sleep. What sleep is it?
Look, I love the fact that you talked about your backstory with news, because my backstory is in news and journalism as well. I thought, you know, getting my foot in the door to TV and to hosting my own show, I thought it was TV. I thought it was news because that's the only idea I had in my mind.
Because that's what hardcore journalism.
That's what a hardcore journalist was defined as, news. But then I realized this is so unnatural for me. It's so uncomfortable for me to play a role that's not me. And so my first big girl job, I did it and I learned, and I'm so very grateful for the job that prepared me for today's journey, but that wasn't me. It wasn't me at all. And so for me today to be able to have no limits, full range, full control, and control the narrative of how I want to do it and shine a light in a different aspect. Shout out to those journalists on the news, but in a different aspect, such as, you know, touching them like homegirl, homeboy, because you have artists like Lil Jeremy from Houston, Texas, who is providing for the community. You have like artists like G Herbo who got schools in their name. However, the news outlets and the different places in the media that's controlling the narrative, they not showing this different limelight of artists, of creatives, of businessmen. And shout out businessmen and women. Shout out to Isaiah Carey, because he is doing this in his natural state, being true to himself. So I would say for me, Zayangelitatv, Zenaria Bowens, it's just me being true to who I am and being able to be a blueprint, a resource, a connection. And like in a previous interview, go watch it, what Can Be, she said a light.
And I feel that's what you are, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I seen you on the outside, you know, just before we even, like, shook hands, rubbed shoulders, like, hey, girl, how you doing? You know, I know you're a Prairie View alum. Shout out to them.
Yes.
They produce
Wait.
people.
Hello.
Great people.
Wait. Shout out to her, because we going to put the energy back in the air. TSU, shout out to y'all.
Shout out to the HBCUs producing great people. You know what I'm saying? I think that's really how we connected as well, just because I know it seems different because, like, your energy is, like, super, you know, vibrant, and you know Zay in the room when she walk in the room, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't too much that you know she there, you know what I'm saying? She gonna walk up, she gonna shake your hand, she don't know you, but she gonna come up and, you know, say something to you, and I admire that about you, you know what I'm saying? You're not scared. You don't care who in the room, like, you know, you're going to approach the scene as you need to. Like, hey, this is who I am. Yeah. This is what I do. What do you need? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I admire that about you. And in the same sense, it's encouraged me as a journalist to kind of push myself past my limits. Yeah. I'm a timid and shy person, you know what I'm saying? So kind of being around you in this like atmosphere and being able to connect with you has kind of molded me into, like, you can do it, you know what I'm saying? I still be nervous just a little bit, but it's just kind of open me up just a little more too.
And what I'm learning for you is, like, you know, don't be afraid to have your niche. I would say, from my perspective outside looking in, your niche is music, but you can talk about all topics: business, women, health, men, women, entrepreneurs, creatives. Like, you're not afraid to tap into those different lanes. And I feel like as journalists, we have to be able to know our niche, but be exposed to those different areas and cover it all. Like, tell the truth of it all. Ask those questions that people don't want to know. And don't let society dictate what a journalist is, or what a black woman is in journalism, or what a black woman is in media, let alone, because...
And so you say that, and that makes me want to bring up the incident that just occurred at Rolling Loud with the City Girls, with a journalist named T. Well, I'm not going to say journalist. I think she's an influencer. And I think a lot of the times, a lot of outlets or people, they bring out influencers to interview these artists or, you know, different areas instead of getting the ones that went to school for this. I got a degree. I got 2 degrees. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You could have called me. I could have did that. And so now she's getting backlash on Instagram regarding the interview, because I feel like when you are in settings like that, you have to do your research, even if you just put on the spot.
That's true.
I think the term that she used was, she may have said it was like 50 months in the Black history, or she said something that didn't, you know, resonate with what it was. Like, that's not what it is. You didn't know what it was.
You gotta be on your stuff.
You gotta be on your stuff, you know what I'm saying? So she's been getting a lot of backlash for that, and I think the phrase that she said was basically like, oh, y'all just doing that because I think she said I'm light skinned or whatever she said, or because I'm black or something of that nature. But it's just like, that doesn't, you know, you just didn't do your job. You know, people gonna critique you, especially with what you said and how you said it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As journalists, we got to kind of look into that. And I think a lot of the comments that were made was basically like, give these jobs to people that just graduated. You know what I'm saying? They might not have the experience, but they know what they're doing. They might not have all of that on there.
And that's why I'm glad we coming together, putting the answer call in the universe, because you got your background in communications at TSU. I got my background at PV, and we merging our talents. We creating our own lane, per se. And then for those young girls and young boys who want to pursue this career and don't know how to get into it, here y'all go. Y'all got the opportunity to see how the game goes and really how to just put yourself out there. And I would say for me, and I can see it in you too, is really start by doing something. Like you said, you were admired by me. I'm admired by you being able to know that you took my craft seriously and you took notes. I take notes. I do research. I take the time. So even from interviews like today, I'm gonna go back and watch this and look at your non-gestures. Look at our nonverbal communications. Look at how we talk to each other, how I pronunciated words, how you pronunciated words, how you even dug up the history and, you know, connected topics from Rolling Loud. Like, all that matters and all that play a role. And I'll just say, like, coming in the future with the answer call, look for knowledge, look for resource, look for the seed to be planted. If you're answering a call to your purpose,
look for the tribulations. That's important too. I think a lot of the times answering a call to your purpose, it's not easy. It's very tedious. It's very difficult. You have the bumps, you have the highs, you have the lows, you have the people that you thought would be there to the end, and you have the people that's gone, and you know, it is what it is. And those things really do matter, because it's like, those are the times where you really find yourself. Are you going to let this, you know, weigh you down, and you going to let this pick you up? You going to keep going, and you going to stop?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole purpose of the answer call. Like, how are you going to maneuver past all of these other things that's going on around you?
And then I like to add, to piggyback on that, is how do you contribute to the world? Like she was saying, everything will not be monetary. You will not get paid for everything that you do, especially in this lane. And I know podcasts is starting to be saturated and a lot of different people are tapping into it, but you have to be purposeful. You have to be intentful. And most of all, you have to be passionate about what you do. So expect so much. Matter of fact, don't put no expectations on the answer call.
Because it's unfiltered.
There you go,
it's
unfiltered.
Raw, it's uncut. We going to get into the deep dive and everything. We want to know the ins and the outs. We see the pretty, we see the glitz, we see the glam. We want to know what it was like when you ain't have nothing. How you make this happen? What you do?
And matter of fact,
be honest, what you do? Like, how did you make this happen with no money, no job, no car, nowhere to stay? Sleeping on your friend's couch.
Yeah.
How did you maneuver with that situation? You know what I'm saying? And those things matter. Like, answering the call to your purpose is really important. A lot of the times people get steered away, they get discouraged, when you should really just keep straight. It's your lane. Stay in it.
And I want to ask you before we go, I got my own definition, but what is your definition to purpose, or define purpose?
Purpose. My definition of purpose would be by any means necessary. By any means necessary, it don't matter, hell or high water. Anything that I face, I know it's a greater outcome.
Yeah.
And I think over time, you know, I've learned to really see that versus just me saying it. Like, me knowing the fact that this is so close to me, it's not even, it's like right here in front of my face. Like, I see it, you know what I'm saying? It's not enough people in the world to tell me that, like, oh, you gonna do this, I see you doing this. Like, I know it's happening, like, I see it. Like, in the matter of 6 months, I've done so many things that I didn't see myself do a year ago. So I know it's a purpose. I know that I'm walking in the lane that I'm supposed to at my own pace. I ain't worried about nobody else. I'm a very supportive person. I think we're supportive people. You know, I support everybody regardless if they post, like, share, do anything. So that's me walking in my purpose. That's what my purpose is. By any means necessary.
Yeah.
It's going to get done.
Yeah.
What's your definition?
I'd say for me, if I had to define purpose and I was Kiki Palmer at the spelling bee, purpose, P-U-R-P-O-S-E. Purpose is defined as knowing your contribution and having faith when you don't see it physically, knowing that it's yours. Like, knowing that it's yours and knowing that you have something to give. Like, knowing the value of yourself, really knowing the value of yourself, and just knowing that you got something to give and a contribution. Because many times, like, as we grow, young people seeing the success with social media, we thinking, how can we get? It's not about get. It's about give. And so I know my purpose is giving smiles, giving encouragement, giving inspiration, giving motivation, giving opportunity, giving flowers. And sometimes that may look like a moderator, that may look like a journalist, that may look like a red carpet
It might look like
host.
we just chilling and we talking, you know what I'm saying? I think as journalists too, when we tap in with people and we talking to them, it's a lot of the times where it's certain stuff they may not feel comfortable to talk about, but because we are so calm and cool, you know what I'm saying? It's not that I'm trying to dig at you, but I just want to know, like, how you feel about this situation. How does this make you feel?
The uncomfortable truths, and that's what it's about, literally, the uncomfortable truth. So, like I said earlier, no expectations with the answer call. Like, we tapping into
everything. Everybody, everywhere. This is a show for everybody. We want to know the raw, uncut you version, what it took you to get to where it is that you are. And the only place to do that is here. Right.
That goes for businessmen and women. That goes for creators, entrepreneurs, artists, kids, adults, all walks of life. You could be 40 and starting your purpose tomorrow. You could be 12 years old and you just tapping into your limelight. It's fine with us, because at the answer call, guess what we're going to do? We're going to pick up that phone.
We're going to pick up the call and you're going to answer it, because it's us. You know what I'm saying? It's us. So before we drop this line... Before we drop this line, I know what y'all gotta do. Y'all gotta pick up the next call with your girls, okay? And that's it.
Yeah. Follow me on social media, every platform, Zayangelitatv.
And y'all follow me, rocking_with_Aaliyah. Make sure y'all subscribe to our YouTube, follow our Instagram, The Answer Call. Make sure you put in The Answer Call. It's only us. That's what it is.
Look, and before we go, shout out to all the cameramen operating on behalf of us. So shout out to Jimmy. Shout out to
HJSTV.
Yeah, for real, because at the answer call, it wouldn't be here if we didn't have the support and the resources to make this happen. So.
And we love you, Jimmy.
Shout out to you. For sure, and we out. We gonna answer that call.
Answer that call.
That's cool. I like that. That was good. That'll get